Procrastination is one of my biggest enemies. Steven Pressfield calls it resistance in his book The War of Art, and is the internal force that prevents us from doing meaningful creative or personal work. He says it's not external, but it's inside of us. And I really like the definition because when you come to terms with that fact, it's much easier to take responsibility and find ways to fight against it. I felt it take control of me just today. It's the thing that tells you to do it tomorrow. It's procrastination disguised as perfectionism. Perfectionism is not a great thing either, and that's a whole nother topic, but I believe resistance is a big part of it, and it plays a big role in you not achieving your dreams and putting in the hard work. On a side note, it's not always supposed to be hard, nor it's always supposed to be fun. It's just supposed to be work. Don't let anyone try to fool you into thinking that you shouldn't work. Passive income is a thing, and you should take advantage of that. You should use levers to multiply your outputs, but you should always remember that it's not about the destination, it's not about the finish line. It was never about the trophies, the successes, the clout, because even the most successful people will tell you it was all about the journey all this time. And where's the fun in living in the most expensive villa in the world when your life energy is slowly fading away? You know, when workaholics, the people who constantly overwork themselves, stop and relax from the work they've been doing, they often die. They can't get used to being sedentary. And I think we were created to create. We should feel fulfilled for giving value to the world. And again, it's not just about the value itself, but about the process through which we created it. And I think that getting a purpose, a mission, unlocking that intrinsic motivation can seriously improve your mental health as well. So let's practice what I preach. This is such a downgrade in lighting, I know. It's the second day. And I skipped a day of this challenge yesterday, so let's get back on track as soon as possible. So while I'm opening cursor and setting up everything, let me introduce myself for those who are new. I'm Alexa, I'm 16 and I've been coding since grade 6. I'm finishing up my sophomore year at the School of Electrical Engineering and I've been doing web development in particular since last year. Since then I've made zero money and I realized that coding is only a tool through which you achieve something greater. You have to be an entrepreneur by heart in order to utilize coding to its best. If you've been in the business world for a bit, you'd recognize coding as a form of leverage. It's not a skill that will make you money inherently anymore, but a tool through which you can make more of it and faster. Software as a service, also known as SaaS, is a business model that beautifully merges the startup culture with software development. That's why I think pursuing it is of much greater value than just being solely technical. So let me show you around the app I've been making for the past 4 days. It's basically a web app solving the problem of coordinating all kinds of clubs and gatherings. When you sign in as a teacher, you can create new clubs. Students can request to join. Teachers can approve or reject the requests. And once they're in, they're supposed to find meeting times using their Google calendars, as well as keep track of the work they do on a section, on a club, whatever we find a use for it. So here I'm solving a problem that they legitimately have at my school. And the idea might not turn out to be great in the end. But as I said, it's all about the journey and the learnings, and I'll have a functional piece of software in the end. And it's also to feed the part of me that says, if you want to make an apple pie, you first have to create the universe. I like to make stuff my own and to make my own stuff. It's that engineering part of me battling with the business one. I know this might not have a successful business plan, which it has none, but at least I'll build something and learn a lot. So about that building part. This pop-up was left like this and these indentations don't work, neither will they. So I would just like to replace this with sharing this link. So I'll just open my code editor of choice, which is cursor, and I'll find the file where the module is contained. Yeah, so here it is. I could do this with AI, but it's such a simple fix. I'll remove everything below this input and I'll find the function where the URL is calculated. So that was a simple fix. Now this model is giving me the correct link to share with students. And if I try to paste it, it's gonna point me to the correct page, where I can again request to join. And I can see here that the previous request was rejected, which means that I was kicked out of the club, so I can request again. It was now sent successfully, so I can accept it from the teacher's side. So I eventually sorted it out and also added a way to check if a club exists at all. Now if the club is private and you're not a member of it, this is what you'll see. If it's private but allows join requests, you'll get this button here, which works just like the one before. And if it allows joins and is public, it's the same as before. The last thing I'd like to tackle is these avatars. If you open this image in a new tab, you'll see that we have exceeded the rate limit for fetching that image. It's annoying and that's why you often see this, the image not loading at all. I'd like to find a way to fix that, but I've never done that before. So cursor to the rescue. How they stop Google avatars exceeding rate limits of the Google API. So it's suggesting to save those images in our own database, but I don't feel like doing that. I'd better just show initials and derive a custom color depending on their user ID. I explained that to Cursor and I also told it to make sure they're contrasted, so it should only change the hue or the color, not the lightness of the color itself. And alright, after minor debugging we can see that that works. If I refresh, the colors are gonna stay the same, but these avatars stay the same. Let me just quickly tell it to repeat it everywhere. And also in Cursor there's this Control K where you can make a change in one part of the code. As it's a UI based thing, I'll try to take a screenshot and show it to it. Make the text centered. It tried to add the style attribute, which isn't gonna change things. Okay, that kinda worked, but now it seems more like an ellipse than a circle. I suppose that's good enough for now. It's pretty late and I should get some rest, so it was productive. It was nice getting back to this after a day or two skipped, and it's slowly taking shape. I'd like to next time finally dive into the session scheduling logic because it's kind of the most important part of the app. We'll try to integrate the Google Calendar API and we'll see what to do from then on. Thanks for tuning in. I really hope you have a great day and I'll see you pretty soon. Come on, build something cool. You don't have an excuse, just like I don't.